ago, I was thinking about their album Anthology.
Yeah.
And I hadn't listened to it for a long time, and then dug it out, and because I told my buddy about it, it's like, I gotta go home and see if I can find it. And as we found it, like, text me, like, dude, goes, I found my Alien Ant Farm. I was so excited, and cranked it right in because, like, just from the first song to the last song, I love that album, and I got the other stuff too. But yeah, I was just so pumped and so excited to find that album. That was back in actually February.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That sounds so cool. Yeah, it was so cool to play with those guys, and just like I said, they hung out afterwards. We all hung out in the club afterwards, and we were talking about music and stuff like that.
Their new stuff is good too.
Yeah, new album's
actually,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought the new album. I did the whole, I think, Kickstarter, whatever crowdfunding service they use, I forget. But yeah,
lately, when we started playing more original gigs, we would actually get paired with a lot of metal bands.
Okay.
I
found now we've actually found more punk bands on the island and some ska. We find there's a lot of ska and punk mixtures happening.
There's like this little bastion of ska that's like, still clinging to it, and I love it. And it's like ska punk, so like that third wave of ska, so like something in the veins of like a Real Big Fish or like a Less Than Jake, something a little bit more similar to that. Well,
Mike plays trumpet too, so there's one band that we've been playing with a lot that they kind of like slowly lured him in. So,
but yeah, we have friends. We have good friends in the city, in Manhattan and in Queens and Brooklyn that we love playing there. We do play some great clubs on the island too, and have great friends on the island as well. We're trying to like almost build a little bit of it's almost like we're trying to build like a club that could have existed in like 1998. You know what I mean? So like. Trying to build like a scene, like a pop punk ska scene.
We'd love to, after clearly we're writing a lot, so we're focusing a lot on new material.
Right.
But I would love to eventually, branch out and do Boston shows or go to Philly or Jersey and everything like that, and kind of. See some new faces.
Yeah, we made friends with a band called Joyride who played with Alien Ant Farm. Who they're from Jersey and they're fantastic, and they're another pop punk band, like the pop punk band that fits in very nicely with the way we play styles. And that's a band that we're looking to maybe play a little bit in Jersey, maybe Philadelphia with, maybe go up to Connecticut or something like that. But we're looking to slowly expand. Right
on. And just a couple of things, just to touch back on the ska side of things very quickly, is we mentioned Les and Jake. I lived in Michigan for about 7 years. And I used to, because he used to have an annual show, Les and Jake would play with Suicide Machines. We're local to Detroit. And they play a show every year. There's always, went to see that show every year. It's always a lot of fun. But towards the New York ska, I'm pretty sure that the company doesn't exist anymore, but they had a lot of good ska bands come out, like, I want to say early 90s, like right within there. And the company's called Moon Ska Records.
Okay.
And there was a local band called the Toasters.
Oh, I love the Toasters.
The Toasters are awesome. One of my favorite ska bands. I actually have a Moon Ska t-shirt, the whole thing. I went to New York and picked one up when they're still open, so I got the stickers and that sort of thing. But I want to touch on that quickly because I know a lot about the New York ska scene. When you mentioned that just kind of
It was funny. Well, first of all,
I
just
want to Samurai Pizza Cats.
The Samurai Pizza Cats are friends of ours that we play with all the time, and they're from Long Island. They're fantastic. But I love the Toasters. I like them a lot. I have a bunch of their albums. But I also love the fact that they actually, when I was growing up, there was a cartoon on Nickelodeon called Kablam, and they actually used one of their songs as a theme song. And I think that was might have been my first introduction to that third wave of ska, because I think I was probably maybe 7 or 8, maybe 9 or 10 years old.
I still get that song stuck in my head all the time.
Two Tone Army is a great song.
Yeah, Two Tone Army. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I remember the first time I heard it on a record or a CD, and I was like, oh man, I remember this song. And then, for me, it was always funny. It's always funny where you get your influences from. But if I never played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on the Sega Dreamcast back in the late '90s, there's so many bands I wouldn't like today. It's so funny how you find these influences from such weird spots. But the ska scene on Long Island, where I was growing up, and even in New York City, was amazing. There were so many ska bands, but there were also so many ska bands that would last a day and then break up because there's 17 members of the band and you can't get out of soccer practice and you can't get out of soccer practice or test prep, SAT prep to go to rehearsal. But I remember on the island, Long Island, we had the Scofflaws. They were a band that was big in that time. The Edna's Goldfish was another band that was from Long Island who I actually worked with. One of the members of the band, her sister, actually, his sister was one of my coworkers at work for a while. So it was a cool scene. It was a really cool scene. I actually really miss it. To be honest with you,
it's still.
I know,
it's
but
not the same, but
there's something
not
about
totally gone.
Something about a bunch of bands hanging out in like a church basement and kids listening to music and spin kicking each other. It's
that's what church basements are for, spin kicking.
It's always weird where these venues were, but we always had a lot of good stuff growing up, and I really love that stuff. I really love that era.
So we're gonna get into your song that's on the Fast Factory compilation here. Very short one of that, it's just under 2 minutes here, but still a good song. The song is called "Don't Know Where the Line Is." Dig this.
Nice.
Bad Mary. Bad Mary, Don't Know Where the Line Is. No, really like that tune because it's very, very energetic. And Amanda, you killed those vocals. You kind of really just brought out kind of the punk and just that extra good twist to it. But it was clear and solid, a really good tune.
Thank you.
Yeah, great tune, great energy, and you guys are so tight. Amanda, I was actually, when you said you were a musical theater person, when you do vocals like this, do you kind of go into character a little bit? I just say this because I was a musical theater person also. So
I definitely do. When we started at Hofstra as the party band, mm-hmm. I was not really used to this kind of performing yet. And when I grew up, my whole family plays music. My dad's whole side, we have an oboe player, we have French horn, guitar, everybody. So I had always identified with it, and that's why in musical theater I was comfortable, but it took me a while to realize, in this band, I could be whatever I wanted to, you know? So I was so used to playing other characters in, stage productions of, straight plays or musicals or everything like that, that when I first started, I was very unsure of how to act as myself in this scenario. But, now, after kind of living in it for a couple of years, I definitely, I don't want to say, I lose myself and when I go on the stage or whatever and perform with the band, but there's definitely a transition into some kind of character.
Yeah, I can definitely hear that in the vocals. You're really nailing it. It's a great job.
Thank you.
Who would you say your influences are vocally?
Nope, you're cutting out a little bit.
Who would you say your influences are vocally?
Definitely, I'm going to go with the big names here that people would probably normally think of, but Debbie Harry, Gwen Stefani, definitely those two I started listening to a lot more when we, started writing our own music, just to get kind of not get an idea, but to kind of learn from who I think are some of the greats, and especially some of the more modern people. I listen to a lot of guys too. I'm a big Police fan.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that when we play live. Definitely, the syncopation that this thing has and all that stuff. I've learned from. I definitely don't sound like him, but
he's not stung and he's not stinging.
He's just sting.
It sounds like you got kicked in the nads, that's all.
Yeah, listen, lay off the guys with the high voices.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I didn't think about her until lately, but I've been listening to a lot of her because it's summer. Also, Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Honestly, just because she has, she's that musical. Well, she's Kinky Boots is musical theater, like, so she's definitely got an interest. But the way that she sings is very theatrical.
Absolutely.
I think, and it really, you can hear her and everything, and that's kind of what I try to go for. I went to school for acting. And being of that, I was taught very much to, like, you commit to what you're doing, and you need to know what you're singing about and what you're feeling to convey that. And I tend to gravitate towards singers that I feel do that.
Wow, that's really cool. I never really thought about it that way, to be honest with you. So cool. So we're going to get into our next tune on this compilation, and the band is called La Del Torres, and the song is called Plastic Gold. Dig this.
Nice.